Hello, everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven,
My name is Jerry.
and we are here to talk week one of the NFL season. The Panthers taking on the New Orleans Saints in Nowlands.
New Orleans. I mean,
Nowlands, as they
it's
like to
here.
say.
I mean, I'm so distracted right now, but it is finally here.
Yeah,
Panthers
football's,
football.
football is here. It starts tonight. The good game, the Ravens and the Chiefs. Looking forward to that one. And then our boys take the field for the first time all season long. New head coach, revamped offense, year two of Bryce Young,
I'm ready to be
brand new
heard
line.
again.
I mean, we're yeah, right.
I think I
That's
saw
a,
someone post that,
yeah,
and I was like, yeah, that's fitting.
that feels right. Yeah, we're getting ready to we're putting ourselves out there on the line again, cutting our chest open, letting everyone see our hearts. Ready for this Panthers game, ready for this Panthers season. But we're gonna talk week one. But first, there is a little bit of news to discuss, Jerry.
Yes. Panthers went ahead and released Clavion Chason, outside linebacker, edge rusher, that former first round pick by, I believe, Jacksonville.
Yep.
Um, Supposedly they saved $2 million by him not making the roster week one. I guess it was fully guaranteed if he made the roster. So
Yeah.
I think that played a part in it, in the simple fact that he just didn't seem to produce the way they were hoping. Or
Yeah, and Dave Canales mentioned that even though he played some special teams, I guess they weren't really. He wasn't a standout, and it's not a standout pass rushing either. With the money savings and everything, and we'll talk a little bit here in a minute about some more money savings the Panthers are doing. It seems like um, there are some guys out there. I
yeah,
was looking at a list the other day of some pass rushers that are available, including Marquise Haynes, who I would be fine bringing back as a
at this
rotation
point,
guy.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but Ngakwe is out there. Excuse me. There's a couple other guys out there as well, but they're clearing up some money. Chason, I thought it was weird the first time I saw it that they released him, just because of the dearth of talent at that position
yeah.
the Panthers have right now. You would think that any warm body that has potential, they would want to at least try out. But I didn't know about the $2 million being guaranteed, come week one and all that. So if they weren't 100% on him,
My
it is what
question
it
is,
is.
why didn't they do this earlier? Because if he was already on that edge of not making it, why was that not brought up then?
You
And then you can kind of look at who was falling through the cracks, or who you want to make a
right,
trade for. 2 weeks ago when this 53 man kind of came out. Now
yeah,
we're sitting, or a week and a half ago.
right.
Now we're a few days away from week one game, and they decide to do it. So it's like,
Well, they did make the waiver claim on the edge rusher, right? They did bring one in, but yeah, I agree with you. I think certainly something didn't change between now and then, right?
yeah.
That made them decide to remove him. Nobody came open on free agency, or nobody was cut of any significance between then and now. So yeah, I agree with you. I think the timing's a little weird, but again, Matt, maybe they were just giving him every opportunity, every practice rep they could to see if something sparked, and it just never did.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
that's that's the only thing. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
yeah, me too. Uh, our second news of cost cutting was the Panthers restructured Taylor Moton and Shy Tuttle, clearing up roughly $10 million. So I think, I haven't looked at over the cap since all these changes have happened, but that should free up 12 million. So I think they're sitting right around like 15 to 18 million.
I know they were close. I know they were really close before. And in fact, I've been waiting on these restructures for a while now because they've been sort of bottom tier of available cap space for a while now. So I'm glad they went ahead and got these restructures done. You said it was Moten and
Shy
and
Tuttle.
Shy Tuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, two guys that are definitely going to be on the team, right? Like,
Yeah.
no reason not to restructure those guys.
Taylor Moton's like the heartbeat of the offensive line. It's like,
right.
oh, at least we have Moton that we don't have to really worry about.
Exactly. So yeah, I would look at over the next week or so. After this game, they'll see how the pass rush does. If it isn't what they want it to be or need it to be, then I think it's 100% that they go out and get somebody, within the first, I would say, 3 weeks of the season to bring in to help shore that up.
I mean, Hassan Reddick hasn't joined his squad yet in the Jets. I mean, I know that's probably not likely because he's probably going to be very expensive, but I mean,
but I mean, if you sign him for multiple years, you could structure it in such a way where he wouldn't count hardly anything against the cap this year. But it just seems like there's a reason that teams aren't going out of their way to sign that guy, right? Like, we really liked him here.
Yeah.
As a player, we didn't know. It seemed like he got along well in the locker room. Like, he and Burns had their bet the whole season, but he's a guy that just seems to bounce around, and I don't know what it is, but I'd be happy to have him back because he's sure as hell talented.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, he'd be the best pass rusher on the team immediately, right? No question.
I mean, honestly, Hassan Reddick and him, I think that would be a fun two pair, but
Clowney,
you're looking at your two edge rushers being over 30. So,
yeah, true. That's got to be something they address early in the draft next year.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's maybe the most important thing. One more little news. Miles Sanders injured his finger in practice. They were a little worried about it, but it seems like he's full practice today, so no issues there. But that's kind of the only recent injury I think that happened.
Yeah, I had that on the
any
injury
significance.
Report.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it again then. But yeah, so yeah, I think that's any other news we need to discuss.
Not that I care about. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's get into it because I'm excited. We can actually talk about a real game and kind of what we're expecting and stuff. So let's just go ahead, jump into the injury reports as we typically do. The Carolina Panthers have a few injuries here. Ian Thomas did not practice. I don't expect him to go. Tommy Tremble did not practice Wednesday and Thursday, hamstring. Again, I don't expect him to go. Yoshi Nijman, offensive tackle, tibula. He's been very limited in practice all training camp. I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't go. Miles Sanders, as mentioned earlier, full practice. He's going to go.
Yep.
Troy Hill, limited practice with a heel. Assume he's going to go.
I hope so. He was not on the report Wednesday, so I don't like when guys pop up on the report for the first time on Thursday or Friday. So we'll have to see what things look like with him Friday. That's another position where we can't really lose a lot of depth. So I hope that Troy Hill is going to be healthy.
This Panther team can't lose any depth
anywhere. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. There's
nowhere.
There's no give. Looking at New Orleans here, they got a laundry list of players. First, let's go with the did not practice. A.T. Perry did not practice with a hand. Kalen Saunders, defensive tackle, did not practice with a calf injury. DeMarco Jackson, linebacker, calf injury. Dalen Holker, tight end. And Jalen Ford, linebacker, all did not practice. A.T. Perry, I think, is kind of dangerous in the fact that he just showed up. He has a hand injury. And they don't, speaking of nothing behind him, I mean, they have Chris Olave, and A.T. Perry was the only other guy I kind of knew.
Yeah, Chris Olave, and then a bunch of guys that we went to high school with, basically. It's and A.T. Perry, again, a wide receiver with a hand injury popping up on the injury report on Thursday. Not great.
Yeah.
Not great, but who knows?
Yep. Willie Gay, linebacker, and Nick Saldevery, guard, limited in practice today. Also, Pete Warner and Marshawn Latimer, both full practice participants today. So I expect both of those guys to go. I think Pete Warner's a solid linebacker for them, and we know Marshawn Latimore's a really good corner.
Yeah, Marshawn Lattimore kind of excited me for a minute that he was on the list, but limited practice Wednesday, full practice today. He's trending in the right direction for the Saints, in the wrong direction for the Panthers. So, yeah. I mean, the injury report's not terrible. Like, missing our top two tight ends on the depth chart, but we've got Sanders and Matthews, who I feel pretty good about. Right? Maybe not the best blocking tight ends, since that's the most important thing in the world, apparently. But not bitter at all.
No.
But yeah, I mean, overall injury report going into week one, about as good as you could hope for, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, the tight end room is kind of scarce, but at the same time, I mean, if those two guys were starting, I don't think I would still feel about the same about the tight end
group.
Wouldn't
feel any differently at all. In fact, I would probably feel worse, right? Because those guys are going to eat up the majority of the snaps. Now, at least we've got some guys that can catch the ball, make things happen after they catch the ball, that are going to be playing the majority of the snaps. So
yeah,
I'm kind of excited about it.
Now, real quick, we're going to do something a little different this week because there's no stats. There's nothing really kind of going on.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of list the players here and go who has the edge in this matchup. So starting off, we have Bryce Young versus Derek Carr in the quarterback room. I'm going to give it to Derek Carr just because he's done it before. Ed Saints, I mean, do you disagree?
Yeah, well, yeah, we just don't have a lot to go on with Bryce other than last year, which was, an SHIT show, as we all know. And, but I think, like, if you're taking everything into account, right, the weapons that Bryce has, the offensive line that Bryce has versus what Carr is working with, I think after the game, we're gonna feel silly by saying that Carr has the edge, right? But I think as of right now, you would have to say slight edge Carr.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to say. Slight edge Carr right now, due to what we have as our history. Now, moving on, running back. We have Alvin Kamara versus Chuba Hubbard, and we also are looking at the guys behind them. That being said, I honestly kind of think this is a push this year. Alvin Kamara has not been good the past 2-3 years.
He certainly has not been as good as you think when you think Alvin Kamara, right? He hasn't put up those numbers, that production, the last couple of years. He's been dealing with injuries, right? He's had some nicks and knocks here and there. But, behind him, Jamal Williams, and then you're looking at Jordan Mims and so basically you're Kamara and Jamal Williams, versus Chuba, Sanders, and then Blackshear, probably a handful of plays, right? 2 or 3 plays, probably not a lot. Yeah, I mean, again, when you're looking at offensive lines, run blocking, things like that, I kind of feel pretty good about the Panthers in this situation.
I was going to say, I think I lean towards the Panthers more or less because, I guess Chuba averaged 3.8 and Alvin Kamara averaged 3.9 last year. I guess I thought Chuba averaged a little bit better, but Jamal Williams averaged 2.9 and Myers still averaged 3.4, as bad as we thought he did.
And plus, our offensive line was so bad last year. So bad. But this is going to be a really interesting matchup, and it's going to help inform how our defensive line looks, right? Because we feel like our defensive line, especially the interior, is a strength on the team, right? But those edge guys and then the linebackers that we're looking at stopping the run, I think, we're going to learn a lot this week. But yeah, I would go slight edge Panthers there.
Okay. I agree with you on that. Like, I know by last year's stats, I guess it's kind of more of a push, but I'm going to lean Panthers, kind of same reason. And going with your reason, O-line. We know the story about the Panthers O-line. We have Icky as a question mark on that left end, but they kind of shored up that interior with Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis. Austin Corbett's in the middle, and then we have our steadfast tugboat over there, Taylor Moton.
Yeah, the stalwart. Yeah, and then the Saints, they got Penning, right? They drafted Penning.
Yeah, they drafted Penning last year, and they drafted Talisa Fuga as their left tackle this year. number 14th overall.
Right.
So basically, and Penning looked bad last year. I mean,
He
all
certainly didn't look as
accounts.
good as they hoped. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're just going straight down the line, like left tackle, left guard, I feel like the Panthers have more W's if you're just going straight down the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a unit, we'll see because again, this is the first time really that both of these full lines have played together. Because you've got some young guys with the Saints as well. So, but I think, I mean, I'm going Panthers until proven wrong, right? We're gonna say that the Panthers' offensive line is vastly upgraded, just from what they did in the offseason, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna
So until
lean.
we're proven wrong, I'm going Panthers.
I agree with you. I'm going Panthers as well. Though having those two tackles, I think is very scary for
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr. I mean, Fuega, we'll see. I didn't do a lot of research on first round offensive tackles, so I don't know him very well. But
Yeah,
I mean, they have some decent interior, Cesar Ruiz, McCoy, but yeah, I feel like the edge goes to the Panthers. They spent the money. Let's hope it works. I mean,
right.
on paper,
Again, until proven wrong, right?
yeah.
Let's look at wide receiver real quick. I mean, I think the Panthers certainly, on paper, have the edge here. You got Olave, who,
Mm.
you're going Olave versus Deontay Johnson as your one.
Oh, Olave is the best receiver playing
Yeah,
on
Olave
Sunday, in my
definitely has
opinion.
has the edge there. But then you got Rashid Shaheed, A.T. Perry, who we just talked about, popped up on the injury list today. Uh, and then behind him, Cedric Wilson, Bub Means, whoever that is, Mason Tipton. And then you got the Panthers with Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, who had 1,000 yards last year, Jonathan Mingo, young up and coming receiver, Leggett, young up and coming receiver. Is it David Moore? So I feel the Panthers again on paper until I'm proven wrong. I'm going to go Panthers.
All right. I do want to give Rashid Shaheed some honest love because I do think he's a solid receiver. 719 yards last year,
Mm-hmm.
average 15.6. But with A.T. Perry, even with A.T. Perry healthy, I do think I lean Panthers. I think it's Chris Olave gives them that nudge above of being because he is a true number one. I am not sold on Deontay Johnson being a true number one, and Adam Thielen is not. So right now, I think they have the edge in certain situations of having that gold standard one, but the Panthers have a better top to bottom wide receiver core.
You don't think Deontay Johnson is the number one?
I don't think he's the all out number one like Chris Olave is right now.
Okay.
If he was that guy, I
Yeah.
don't think we
Uh,
would have been able to trade for him with just
yeah. I'm
uh,
not. I'm
Dante
not
Jackson.
arguing that he's Chris Olave is equal, right? But I would say that he's on this team as the number one, right?
Oh
I mean,
yeah, he's on
okay,
this team's number
okay,
one. I'm
yeah.
saying Chris Olave.
You wouldn't say he's like a top tier
He's not a number
wide
one
receiver
on a
one.
lot of receiver
Okay,
cores.
gotcha. Okay,
I mean,
gotcha.
but I do think top to bottom, this wide receiving core is better than the Saints because I think Shaheed and Olave are good 1-2, and if that's all they go to, that's great for them. I think that gives them the edge over Johnson and Thielen. But
Yeah,
I think it's gonna go down, and I think Panthers have the edge. Does that make sense?
it does. What do you think? Deontay Johnson is 1,000 yard receiver this year for the Panthers, assuming health.
Yes, I do.
Say he plays 15 games.
I think he does.
Okay,
I think
I
he
agree.
wants
I
that
agree.
big
I think he's gonna have.
contract.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of motivation. I think the offense is going to feature him.
Mm-hmm.
I think what he does well really fits Bryce, in terms of just timing, route running, good hands, things like that. Good hands, right? I'm not saying he has great hands, but he's got good hands.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm actually very excited to watch. I mean, obviously, I'm excited to watch everything, but seeing the Bryce connection with these receivers, just because we haven't seen it yet, right? We haven't seen it. We saw one series in the preseason. He hit almost everybody with a reception, right? Everybody was out there pretty much. He hit for a reception. So I'm just excited to see how how the offense works, right? And
Mm-hmm.
how these receivers get involved and who truly is Bryce's go-to guy. Is it just going to turn out to be Adam Thielen again? How involved is Leggett, right? That's
Yeah.
exciting to me. So, yeah, I am pretty interested in that. All right, so offense overall, I mean,
We
I feel
gotta
like
say tight end. I know it's your favorite position and everything. I think it's got to go to the Saints for the
it's
simple
got
fact
to Taysom Hill.
you got Taysom Hill, Juwan
Yeah,
Johnson. And look
yeah.
at the guys we have. We our top two are out. Let's.
Yeah, we're basically Jordan Matthews and a relative unknown in Tavion Sanders, who we just don't. He's very raw, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
going to take some time to get up there, but yeah, just Taysom Hill scares the hell out of me. He can do everything on the field, and he has just absolutely wrecked the Panthers in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hate facing him. I don't like it at all. So yeah, I would definitely say that the tight end goes the way of the Saints. Overall, it kind of feels like a push on offense, maybe, right?
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of give the edge to the Panthers on paper. It's just it's on paper, and if Frank Reich's coaching, that is thrown out. So I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah. We'll see. You'll see what Canales can do with these guys. But yeah, let's look at the defense real quick here. I mean, we've got
edge rushers.
edge rushers, Cam Jordan.
Yeah, Cam
Go ahead.
Jordan. What is that guy's name? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, Carl Granderson.
Yeah,
Chase Young's on the
Granderson had a
team.
solid year. They had Chase Young now,
Yeah,
Peyton Turner, Isaiah Foskey. I mean, I don't even want to look at ours. That their group is so
yeah.
much better than ours.
Yeah. Well, we've given slight edges for most of these position battles, but this is a solid win for the Saints edge rusher, right? Like it's not very close.
I didn't know they
Obviously, we hope
drafted
that.
Isaiah Foskey, man. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I liked him coming out or in the draft for a later round pick. So
Right. Yeah, he was the guy that we had looked at. But yeah, I mean, you got basically they got Chase Young listed on the second unit. That might be a really good spot for him. A guy that can just come in, go 110% for 20 plays a game. I'm kind of worried about that. Like, I don't think Chase Young certainly never lived up to his draft stock, right? And that where he was drafted, the money that he's made so far, but he's got talent. Like, he's gonna make some plays.
yep.
Yeah.
Now interior defensive line, Nathan Shepard and Kalen Saunders for New Orleans and Brian Bresee, Christian Boyd.
Again, they were running a 4-3. We're running a 3-4, so a little different configuration, right? But I feel the Panthers, with Derek Brown alone, he's easily the best
Yeah,
interior defensive lineman in the game. Then you got Ashawn there as well,
and Shy Tuttle.
and
Yeah,
Shy Tuttle. I feel the Panthers probably have the edge there.
I agree with you on that. That interior of that defensive line, I'm hoping is pretty stacked.
Should be stout, right?
Yeah.
Those
Hopefully.
are some talented players. Yeah.
All right, linebacker, middle linebacker type of situation here. Pete Warner, Gay, Willie Gay, I believe his first name is. Shouldn't just say.
True. That is it.
Demario Davis. Demario Davis is really good.
Yeah.
Pete Warner's pretty solid, but I think Willie Gay is injured too. Was he not? I'm looking.
He was on the list. Yeah, he was on the list.
Oh, he's limited practice. Pete Warner's
Yeah.
full practice. Okay, so their our linebacking core is going to probably play. So
Seems like, yeah, limited practice. It is a back injury, so you never know if it flares up or something, but likely that they're going to be healthy there.
and for us, we're looking at Shaq Thompson and Josie Jewell. I mean,
And Trevin Wallace, right? We got
Trevin Wallace. I think the edge goes to the Saints.
I think it's close.
I do too, but I think I edging it towards the Saints.
I think there's a lot of for Panthers fans, there's a good bit of unknowns with the linebacker core. Like Josie Jewell, pretty good last year, but not with the Panthers, obviously. So just kind of seeing what he does will be interesting. Shaq coming back off the injury, can he kind of reclaim, what he used to be able to do? Trevin Wallace, another guy that we're both very excited about, but this will be his first real NFL game. He looked amazing in the preseason, though, so I'm excited about that. I would go closer to a push, but I think yeah, I don't know. I feel good about the Panthers on that position as well. Honestly,
I'm leaning Saints.
might be the first one we disagree on.
Yeah, I think Demario Davis is a really good
Yeah,
linebacker.
yeah.
I don't think we have that on our team.
I'm just looking as a unit overall.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah.
I'm just saying overall, I think their unit is slightly better because they
Yeah.
have that stud. Cornerbacks. We have. let me pull up their roster of Marshawn Lattimore.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore.
But
Adebo, Paulson Adebo played really well.
Mm-hmm. They drafted Kool-Aid. Everybody's pretty excited about that.
Panthers, J.C. Horn. Who's starting opposite of him? That's a good question. Michael Jackson. Mike Jackson. Sorry,
Jackson
he likes to go by Mike. That's what he said. So.
Mike Jackson. Yep. Jackson. Then we've got the two waiver claims backing up these guys, and Bartholomew and Castro Fields, right? J.C. Horn, I feel like, is the best corner on the field. I like Marshawn Lattimore. I think he's a very good player. J.C. Horn, I think, is just that top tier elite level when healthy, and he's coming into the season healthy. So I would put Horn at the top. Michael Jackson, again, behind Horn, it's what we've been saying all off season, right? Who's the guy that's going to step up? They all look pretty good in the preseason, but then they got let go. So Dane Jackson's still on IR, the guy that they brought in to be the starter opposite Horn. So kind of already a makeshift cornerback room here.
You have to go Saints.
Yeah, I think you have to go Saints. But again, at the very top, I feel like the Panthers do have the edge. But overall, I think you go Saints.
All right. Now, looking at the safety position, they have Tyrann Mathieu. Man, I didn't realize he was still there. Jordan Howden as their starters, J.T. Gray and Will Harris. Panthers, I mean, we know them. I think,
Fuller.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where it's labeled here. Sorry.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, Jordan Fuller, Jamie Robinson, Nick Scott, Sam Franklin on IR, unfortunately. Did get a captaincy, though, Sam Franklin. So congrats to him there. Yeah, I mean, again,
I
feel really good about our safety group.
Yeah, no, I think the safety group is actually the strong part.
Yeah.
Them and the defensive tackle, like interior D-line, are the strengths of the defense right now. So I'm going to go Saints. Or, sorry, Panthers. Yeah, I was reading the Saints word I typed up. I was counting.
So all that praise. I'm going to go Saints anyway. No, I agree. I'm going to go Panthers there as well.
Okay, Panthers.
Are we doing special teams? You go long snapper? Obviously, J.J. Jansen's going to take that one, right?
So, after doing these comparisons, guess what is the score?
Is it tied?
Tied 5-5.
Yeah. 5-5. Yeah, I mean, you want to give the Panthers the edge at punter?
Sure.
Probably,
sure.
right?
Yeah. Let's
just go special teams overall. I'm going to give the Panthers the edge there, just to break the tie.
Just to break the tie. Yeah. So you hear here first. Panthers will win this game because of special teams.
Based on their punting ability. Wait, this is the Frank Reich plan all over again, right?
Yeah. Let's take a quick break. Then we'll discuss keys to the victory and predictions.
All right.
And we are back. We are going to do the keys to a Panthers victory. And Steven, do you want to
Hmm.
go ahead and start it off, sir?
Sure. I think the number one key to the Panthers winning this game is someone is going to have to step up on that pass rush, right? They're going to have to get pressure with Derek Carr. We know he is not a great quarterback, and quarterbacks like Derek Carr who struggle anyway struggle even more when they are pressured. We've talked about how weak the secondary, you know, on paper is outside of J.C. Horn. Um, Again, we like the safety group, but the corners are tough. Um, Horn is likely to match up with Olave. I don't know if he'll follow him around the field. That'll be something interesting to watch. But I think getting pass rush, getting pressure in Carr's face, especially from the middle, if we can get Derek Brown past that offensive line, is going to be a real key. So I'm going to go pass rush.
Yep. That's a great one because someone does need to step up, especially with how questionable those offensive tackles are. You got a rookie on one
Mm-hmm.
side, which, I mean, awesome. And then you have Trevor Penning, who really struggled last year, was drafted to be the left tackle, and hasn't been able
Yeah.
to look good on the field, to be honest with you.
It's if this game goes the way we hope it does, right? We could come out of this game feeling maybe uh, we could come out of this game feeling a lot better about our pass rush, but maybe it might not be warranted, right? Because the offensive line for the Saints might just be bad enough to where even our defensive line and our pass rush looks good. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Jerry, what you got?
I've got run the ball. This is
Mm.
going to be a multifaceted thing with this Panthers team. I think we need to protect Bryce. I think we need to gain yards on the ground to free up those receivers. But for the most part, we need to control this game. I think tiring out that defense, keeping our defense fresh, and just overall, I mean, Canales has said he wants to run the ball. The team needs to establish an identity. Running the ball, play action off that. Let's beat them up in the O line and D line. That's where
In
you
the
want to win
trenches.
games.
Yeah. Yeah. Win in the trenches. 100%. I agree. And again, I'm excited to watch Chuba run behind this newly revamped offensive line. Sanders as well. Again, I've kind of been on Sanders a little bit this offseason as a comeback candidate, right? I think he's going to have a much better season. Don't know if he's going to earn the money that he's making this year, but I hope he gets close at least. I'll just kind of let's go ahead and talk about Bryce. I think protecting the football is going to be paramount in this game. The Panthers are not a good enough team to turn the ball over and win, right? So protect the ball for Bryce, make smart decisions on an offensive scheme. Game plan wise, let's get him in situations that he knows how to succeed in, right? I want to see some rollouts, a lot of running the ball. Um, Give him time, right? Manufacture time. Ideally, the offensive line is going to do that for him anyway, but it doesn't hurt to get Bryce out on the run. He's good at throwing the ball on the run. Um, didn't see hardly any of that last year, so I'm excited to see how they maximize Bryce's strengths this year.
Yeah, I'm. You kind of took my last key to the game is win the turnover battle.
Yeah,
Whether I think Bryce has to control, make sure he makes smart plays, doesn't force it into coverage. But at the same time, I want our defense to capitalize on Derek Carr's mistakes when he makes them.
yep.
I don't think Derek Carr is going to play a perfect game. Never really has, so that's.
Ooh, what a prediction there.
So they need to capitalize on his mistakes, whether it's batting a ball, getting a sack fumble, and getting the ball, win the turnover battle.
Yep.
That's kind of my keys to the victory. I don't think there's much else we could do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously score more points.
Right.
Crazy.
Neutralize Taysom Hill somehow. And really the run game overall. He's a big part of their run game. So I would, try and stop the run. But yeah, their ability to, especially in the red zone, to keep an eye on Taysom Hill and kind of neutralize him, I think is going to be very important. That's where he has beaten us so many times. So let's keep an eye on that. But yeah, I mean, I think fairly standard for this game, right? The the keys to the game. If they hit those keys in every single game, they'll win a lot of games this year. So,
Yep. All
is
right.
it prediction time, Jerry?
It is prediction time. Let's go with a bold prediction for you first.
Bold prediction for me first. All right. I'm gonna go Jordan Matthews. I'm going tight end. Okay. Jordan Matthews and Jatavion Sanders combine for 100 receiving yards.
Nice. That is bold.
I think so. Yeah.
I think I am going to stick to the passing game, but go a different route. Okay. Last year, the long passing play for Bryce Young was 48 yards. Only 48 yards. I think week 1, he passes that. I think it will be to Deontay Johnson, too. Will be over a 50-yard play.
Okay. I like it. All right. Who's going to win the game? What's the score going to be? I mean, we did our preseason preview a few days back. We were split on this game. Jerry, are you still feeling good about the Saints in this game?
I really think this could go either way. I'm going to stick to my prediction that I already did, that the Saints win this game because it is in New Orleans. But I do think the Panthers have a chance. I'm going to pick Saints 24, Panthers 21.
Okay. Yeah, I'm that's the exact same score I was thinking, but reverse. Panthers 24, Saints 21. And I think the Panthers, we come out of this 1-0, feeling good.
I would love it.
1-0 in the division. I mean, this is kind of a sneaky big game. Like, to play a division game this early against a team that is not expected to compete for the division title. I mean, we're a team not expected to compete for the division title either. So I think this is a good opportunity to steal one, right?
Real quick, the Panthers are 3.5 underdogs to this game. This year we are doing something a little different instead of just the plain old beer bet.
Mm-hmm.
I am taking money out. I am putting my money in to bet on this game or on the game every week. Whether it's $5 or $10, I haven't decided yet because it depends on what I decide I want to lose.
Okay.
Anything we win will be donated to charity. I'm thinking St. Jude's. Haven't really.
That's my favorite one. Yep.
Yeah, so we're just going to go to St. Jude's. Any money that is won is going to be put in a separate account that will all go to St. Jude's on the end. So now we get to pick our betting for kids. Betting for the kids.
Gambling for the children.
I like that better than betting for kids.
Oh, my God.
Gambling for the children.
Kids, if you're listening out there, do not gamble. Okay?
Yeah.
Not a good thing to get started in.
The spread, like I said, is 3.5 right now.
I mean, both our picks would
fall right in there.
Yeah.
The over-under is 41.5. Or we could go straight money line, but we disagreed on the money line.
Well, what's the money? Was it plus like 210 or something for
plus
Panthers?
168.
Oh, that's come down. That's come down a lot. Okay, so Panthers probably getting some action.
It opened at 5. The spread was at 5. So yeah, money's
Panthers getting a lot of action. Yeah. I'm comfortable taking the Panthers points and just saying, that they cover.
They cover?
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's the bet we should go with. So I will bet $5 or $10. I haven't decided, like I said.
Okay. Somewhere between maybe $7.50.
$7.50 on the Panthers to cover the 3.5 spread. And that will be our gambling for the children bet of the week.
There you go. Oh my God.
Oh, we come up with some of this stuff on the fly, people.
Yeah, this was not discussed before that we'd started this. The name of it, at least.
I was going to say, I discussed this with you.
Yeah.
I just haven't opened up the account either. I was like waiting to try to find one of those like really good deals of bet
Do
$5.
FanDuel. FanDuel's got like you get $250
Yeah,
in
that's what I was
bonus
looking
bets.
for, something like that.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
I think they all do that, but
Yeah. All right. Any last
right.
thoughts on this game?
No, I'm just I'm stoked that football's here and looking forward to connecting with you. Hopefully Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I will be remote on Sunday, so we won't be able to do anything live like we want to do for the post games. And unfortunately for Steven, he's going to have to do a lot of legwork because I have just my laptop and I'll bring a mic.
I'll do my best. As you can see, I am remote. Today I'm on an iPad, so if the audio quality is not what you have come to expect, apologies for that. But that's just going to have to be what we deal with for the first couple of weeks of the season here, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
All right. We want to thank everyone for listening. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
We'll be back Sunday afternoon after hopefully a Panthers victory. But either way, we will be here to talk about it. So until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.